on, guys?
How's it going?
This is Mike and Greg from Movies by McManus. We are on our way en route to Saratoga, New York right now for a little vacation time with family, but we are staying, our hotel is in the town of Clifton Park, New York, which, if that sounds familiar to you true crime fans out there, that is sort of the nexus of NXIVM, where Keith Raniere, Allison Mack, and some others lived. So we're going to just take a little detour here, try to find Keith Raniere's house, try to find the NXIVM building, and we just thought we would kind of show you guys along the way here. So this is a very just last minute. This is not professional. This is not an in-depth breakdown of NXIVM or anything like that. So if that's what you're looking for, sorry, but we're just going to show you a little behind the scenes of the town, Clifton Park, and Hafmoon, and show you some of the locations of where this all went down. So stay tuned.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
And we have dramatic news in the high-profile case of NXIVM, the self-help group that was exposed as a sex cult. Self-help guru and the leader of NXIVM, Keith Raniere, was sentenced today to 120 years in federal prison. Victim impact statements lasted for hours today in court in Brooklyn, New York. The 60-year-old Raniere was convicted last summer on charges of racketeering, sex trafficking of children, extortion, and conspiracy to commit forced labor.
Here's the infamous Knox Woods neighborhood, which, if you're familiar with the NXIVM story, you'll be familiar with Knox Woods. And here's the sign. Knox Boulevard.
A jury in New York has found the leader of a self-help group guilty of 7 counts of sex trafficking and racketeering. Keith Raniere attracted some high-profile followers to his group NXIVM, including actresses and one of the heirs to the Seagram's fortune. But prosecutors say the group was more like a cult that had a secret society of sex slaves. Some former recruits testified they were coerced into having sex with Raniere. They were also kept on starvation diets and even branded with his initials. Raniere was revered by the group as the smartest man in the world.
Here we have Keith Raniere's house. Kind of modest looking when you actually see it up close and personal. There's a car in the driveway, so we're not gonna walk up. Want to give these people their privacy, probably violating it already, but anyway. This is Keith Raniere's house, and this is Keith Raniere's block, where a lot of, I guess, his walking meetings he would have. He was famous for walking around. Some of the discussions about branding took place with Allison Mack when they were having their walks. And this is where that went down. That's Keith Raniere's house, 3 Flintlock Lane, which is public information, so I'm not putting anyone on blast.
Mack was with the alleged cult leader when he was arrested in Mexico. Today, she was taken into custody in New York and barely said a word as the charges were read against her.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Allison Mack found fame on Smallville as a teen with a crush on young Superman. Today, she was in court accused of sex trafficking. Prosecutors say she was helping alleged cult leader Keith Raniere recruit women who would eventually become his sex slaves.
So we're not going to pull up because there's a guy out front, but we're right around the corner from Allison Mack's house. So we can't exactly make out which one it is. I think it's on that top floor because the address is 127 Grenadier, and that's 126. This guy's doing some work outside, so we're not going to bother him. So we're going to get out of here, but this structure you're looking at, one of those houses is Allison Mack's former house. All right. And just to give some context, this is just around the block from what Keith Raniere's house was. So, I mean, they lived within Not just walking distance, but I mean, a very, very, very short walking distance.
Prosecutors say under the guise of a women's self-help and empowerment group, the Albany-based organization that calls itself NXIVM was seducing women to abandon their old lives and come join the cult. Some women were even branded with Raniere's initials after joining. Mack, a business partner and so-called slave master, was said to be second in command.
All right, guys, so we're just leaving Knox Woods, the section of, I guess it's Hafmoon or Clifton Park. It seems like the same town, but the address is coming up as Hafmoon. But we just left Knox Woods, which is where Keith Raniere and Allison Mack lived. We were going to maybe try to grab some interviews with some locals, but it didn't really look like that was the vibe. It's a pretty secluded area of the town. You know, we just, the vibe wasn't there to do that. But and when we pulled up to Allison Mack's house, there was a guy like working outside. There was a car in Keith Raniere's old house, his driveway. So you know, we just wanted to show you the neighborhood, but it wasn't really the type of thing where sticking around longer than we were made too much sense. So we're on the way to the former NXIVM headquarters in Albany, and you'll be seeing that next.
Authorities want to seize 2 properties where they say the leader of the accused sex cult NXIVM treated women as slaves to perform sexual rituals and surrender self-incriminating videos. The latest complaint alleges an unidentified actress in her early 30s was forced to give access to her credit cards to her master and participate in various sex acts, once while blindfolded with an unknown partner. Last month, authorities filed criminal sex trafficking and forced labor conspiracy charges against the group's leader, Keith Raniere, also known as Vanguard, and Smallville star Allison Mack. The 2 properties they want to foreclose on are in Hafmoon, a town in upstate New York, about 15 miles from NXIVM's headquarters in Albany.
Yeah. Turn over to that side. Oh, it's creepy. Yeah, this is it. Holy shit. All right, everyone. Here we go. Oh shit. Yeah, that's where the sign was. This is NXIVM. Or 455.
So that's 457. So
which one is 455? Oh, this is it. This is NXIVM. Look at it, all overgrown. Yeah. Here, park and let's walk. Also want to get some holy shit. All right, so we've arrived at the former location of the NXIVM complex, and you'll notice the place is really overgrown by trees and shrubbery, and it looks really unattended. I kind of wasn't expecting this. I figured they, you know, ripped it down or turned it into something else right now. Looks totally abandoned, and you'll see for yourself in a second. Holy shit. Oh my god. I don't know if you could see inside, but this is fucking crazy. They haven't even done anything with the place. The glare kind of sucks, but guys, it's totally abandoned.
you gotta get
Oh my god, look guys, this is where one of the classes would have been. Look at the seats. They still, dude, there's still drawings, like there's, you see that drawing thing? That's gotta be from like one of the classes or some shit. Holy fuck, this is insane. I was not expecting this at all. I really wasn't. Guys, it looks like it hasn't been fucking touched since the, oh, boom. There it is, guys. You can see into another one of the classrooms with the chairs.
Keith Raniere, the founder of the cult-like group NXIVM, where women were kept on starvation diets, branded with his initials, and ordered to have sex with him, was sentenced on Tuesday to 120 years in prison following his conviction for sex trafficking and other crimes. The sentence was imposed by a U.S. district judge in Brooklyn after a hearing where 15 former NXIVM members, most of them women, described what they called the devastating impact Raniere had on their lives. Federal prosecutors had sought a life sentence for the 60-year-old Raniere for exploiting victims at NXIVM, a purported self-help group based near Albany, New York. Lawyers for Raniere countered that he maintained his, quote, complete innocence and was the victim of a, quote, unfair trial. They requested a sentence of no more than 15 years in prison. The first of Raniere's accusers to speak was a woman identified in court only as Camilla, who recounted a 12-year sexual relationship with Raniere starting when she was 15 and he was 45. Another former member, actress India Oxenberg, daughter of 80s TV star Catherine Oxenberg, told Raniere at the hearing, quote, "You stole 7 years of my life that I'll never get back." Prosecutors said Raniere created a secret sorority within NXIVM called DOS, where female slaves turned over nude photos and other compromising materials that could be used for blackmail if they tried to leave. Several other people affiliated with NXIVM have pleaded guilty to criminal charges. They include Seagram liquor heiress Claire Bronfman, who was sentenced last month to more than 6 years in prison, actress Allison Mack, former NXIVM president Nancy Salzman and her daughter Lauren Salzman, who became a star prosecution witness. Raniere was also fined $1.75 million.